So, Tom, it's been a year where Ireland's gone toe-to-toe with some of the most talented countries in Europe. How do you reflect on 2022?
It's been a very good year, Adam. And obviously, players missed out so much because of COVID. And you're probably maybe cautious with fellas not having played much international football for probably 18 months. But players came back in, great form and, played really well through from the qualifying, obviously, last November 21, and then the elite phase. We had a tough group in the elite phase. We started off with England, then we played Portugal, we had Armenia in our final game. And against an England team that won the European Championships in July, our players performed really well against them, and it was very disappointing to lose that match. We lost Sinclair Armstrong after 15 minutes with a head injury. We lost Johnny Kenny after half an hour. We had come back to 1-1, and we gifted them soft goals, and that was disappointing but overall, from a performance point of view, the boys done really, really well, and took a lot of confidence from that game. Went into the Portuguese game and we were 1-0 up with 12 minutes to go, and we just very avoidable goals, and that was bitterly disappointing, the Portuguese game, because the boys played so well, and went toe to toe with Portugal, and we were the better team for the first half, and obviously Portugal threw everything at us in the second half. We defended well, and just unfortunately give bad goals away just at a bad time, and but it was good. Obviously we beat Armenia in the last game. It was important to win that last game. Important for the players' point of view too, because they deserved more out of the games than they actually got. But the attitude of the players was first class. Brilliant fellas, worked extremely hard. Carried on from the training ground onto the pitch, and no, it was a good year in relation to the 03 group, and then obviously we had a short window for the 04 group, and we had a double header friendly against Iceland in June, and then we went into the qualifiers in September. We had a 3-day training camp in August out of the window, so we it was more like a player ID, a few days to get players in, have a look at them, and then obviously a number of players got into the squad from the camp. But yeah, the camp in September, it was great. Obviously we won the 3 games and topped the group on 9 points, and the game against Wales was a crucial game, because we knew going into that game, if we won this game, we're qualified, and we got the result, and we left it late. There wasn't much between the two teams. It was a hard game. We had to change formation, I think it was three different formations throughout the game, and the players had the adaptability, obviously coming up from the 17s, where they had a great season too. And then we used the friendly games against Iceland as an opportunity to experiment on a couple of different systems, and that it paid dividends for us.
When you look back actually at that March window, you say there it was a very tough group. I know you've spoken last year. We were talking about it didn't top the group in the first round, and then it subsequently meant you come up against Portugal and England. Was the determination this year to drive home that message to those players that it's so important to top your group, because effectively you don't come up against the likes of Portugal and England to try and get to a championship?
That is definitely, it's a ploy we would have without a doubt. But it's the old adage in football, you take one game at a time and you want to win your game. But we do set the target that we want to top the group, when you want to top it on 9 points. And come here, it worked out great. As I say, that Welsh game, it was very, very tight. They had chances, we had chances, and at the end, we went for it, and we put 3 right up top, and we got our rewards. Justin Ferzai scored the first goal for us, which was key with about 5 minutes to go. Franco Ume put him up top, and Franco scored, basically in injury time, and I knew then it was all right to celebrate, but no, thankfully it worked out well.
So it was great to qualify for the elite phase, but was it more pleasing for you to see players from the League of Ireland scoring and fantastic performances and really contributing to the team?
Yeah, come here, you'll be pleased no matter who scores, but it's a reflection of the players that are at home, and obviously the boys they're in playing first team football, they're in squads, and they're training with really good good pros at home, like, lads with good attitudes, and, it's rubbing off on the players, and I can see these lads maturing very quickly. They're in good environments. They've been well coached, and I have to say they've done really, really well. And no, it's a reflection on the work that's gone on at home in developing our players right from grassroots. The boys going through emerging talent, and then underage League of Ireland, and for lads so young to be playing, first team football here and experiencing European football as well, it's invaluable, like, and those lads obviously, we're in a good place with, in Europe as well, like, we're right up there in the top 10 in Europe, so it's a great reflection of what's happening here at home in the league.
From this year, have you a particular highlight that stands out, look back quite favourably on?
Yeah, the second goal against Wales, because we knew we couldn't be beaten at that stage. And because in international football, like, once you score, you've got to be, you can't be celebrating for too long. You leave that to the players but they've got to get back and get set again, like, and that was a golden moment, like, but obviously looking at the elite phase from the 2003 group, those players give us, many good moments, like, especially I would say the first half against Portugal, to really dominate possession, create chances, and if we had been 2 or 3 up at half time, it would have been a fairly true reflection of the first half.
One of the pleasing things for the most recent elite phase was that there was no goals conceded. That it was actually solid points, 3 wins, no goals conceded.
Yeah, come here, that was great. And obviously players, we played. All players got a good opportunity because we went into the last game against Hungary and rested some players going into that game. But I wanted to see players as well, like, fellas that didn't have much game time. I needed to see them because we needed to look towards the elite phase and to see how fellas done against good opponents. And Hungary, obviously, they needed to win the game. Well, obviously, at the end of the day, they probably didn't need to win it because they got through, because Wales didn't beat Gibraltar by enough, and we beat them 1-0, like, so. Yeah, it was good. It's it's good from, a goalkeeper, back four perspective. Dermot O'Neill and McNeville will take the credit for that,
Moving on to next year and the elite phase you mentioned there, with Slovakia, Estonia and Greece. The draw was made earlier this month. Fantastic news, it's going to be hosted in Ireland, so it's a great chance for the fans to be coming out and watching some talented players who are just starting to make their moves into first team action, aren't they, with their clubs. How excited are you for 2023?
We're really excited, Adam, like, and we know we've a good group of players, and there's a lot of attack and threat within the group, and the boys are full of confidence. A lot of them are, the home-based lads are playing first team football, and fellas over in England that are doing well also, and we've also some, lads on the continent as well. So no, it's an exciting group. There's competition for places. And yeah, I suppose people are looking at it and they're saying, maybe there's none of the big guns, and thankfully we were in Pot A where we avoided, a lot of the big guns. But every team will be going into it fancying their chances. Like, there's no doubt about it. Estonia have beaten Italy in their group. The Greeks have done very well. The Slovaks have done very well. So we know it's going to be very, very difficult. And come here, it's brilliant to be at home.